On November 2nd, 2014, 4 victims of violent animal attacks were brought together to discuss their experiences. This was the first time they ever met.
I think for me in the beginning, everything did happen so fast. I do remember praying to God, just please, please, just don't let me die.
He swats me in my left arm and basically almost takes my arm right off. How do you play dead? You can't. I have to fight this.
The whole face was slicked back with blood, and at that point, I'm like, oh. And I was thinking, I'm not going like this.
To me, it was just some black thing in the night. I hear another snap. I thought, okay, my arm's going to come off.
These 4 survivors hope that by sharing their stories, they can continue to heal from their own trauma. Unless you've gone through it, no one understands what it feels like to be mauled.
My name is Shannon Parker, and I'm not very adventurous. I'm not a risk taker. I don't even swim in the ocean because I'm scared of sharks. I think if I was more aware of what could happen up in the mountains, maybe I wouldn't have gone for that hike.
Shannon's story begins in June of 2004, when her then boyfriend asks her to join him on a hike in Sequoia National Forest in California.
I didn't really want to go. I'm not somebody that enjoys being up in the mountains. I think I'm just more of a city girl. I set off up the mountain about 11 a.m. or so. It took me roughly an hour and a half to get up to the campsite at Lake Isabella. When I got there, the boys had already pitched the tent, and they were down by like the creek just fishing. I just remember grabbing a fishing pole, getting in the water a little bit, you know, having some fun.
Hey guys, get together.
We were having a good time, and at that point, my boyfriend's friend Jason said, hey, we planned this hike. It's up the mountain. And me not even thinking twice about it, I was like, okay, that sounds like fun, you know.
The group begins their hike just before dusk.
We started down this trail in like a single file line. We were having a really good time. Again, I didn't feel threatened in any way, you know, we were just laughing and telling jokes. And I'd say like a mile and a half into this hike, I was feeling somewhat tired and the sun was going down and I didn't want to continue.
If you don't mind, I'm kind of done with this hike.
You sure?
Yeah, but it's cool. You guys have fun.
Look for the sunglasses while you're there.
And then Matthias said, you know what, I dropped your brother's sunglasses on the way here. Make sure you look for them on the way back.
All right, bye.
See ya.
Shannon begins the hike back to the car. The parking lot is less than a mile away.
I'm not doing anything wrong. I felt like you could see people river rafting below in the river. There were other people on the other side of the mountain hiking. It's a well-established spot on an established trail. About 2 or 3 minutes into the hike back, I was looking down. I was so focused on finding these sunglasses that were on the ground. And I made eye contact with it. I knew exactly what it was. The mountain lion was in front of me and it was crunched down like this, like a cat getting ready to pounce. And in the blink of an eye, it lunged. It locked onto the right side of my face and pulled me to the ground. The animal was a lot stronger than me. I didn't have a chance, so to speak, but just do all I could to fight. I was angry. I was like, I'm not gonna let you kill me, you know, and I fought and fought and fought. I actually put my right hand in its mouth. scared that it, if it did come off, it would reposition itself and it would go for my neck. So I really did everything in my power to keep it here on my face. And in doing that, struggling and fighting with it on the trail, I lost my balance.
With its jaws still locked onto the right side of her face, Shannon and the mountain lion tumbled 20 feet down into a canyon below.
I just remember praying to God, please don't let me die. Please don't let me die. I can't die. I won't die. And I did think about my parents. They do say that the worst thing that can happen to a parent is to lose a child. The child's not supposed to go before their parents. I never once gave up. The entire time I was so focused and so aware and so conscious of what was going on. And I knew that the boys had to be coming back. They have to be passing by.
Shannon uses her last bit of strength to scream for help.
He jumped down to my side, and his initial reaction was to pull me away from the animal. But the mountain lion's fangs are like a pit bull in a sense, and its jaws were just locked onto my face. And so it was not going to release me. Matthias had a pocket knife and ended up stabbing it like 3 or 4 times in like the back or the side of the neck. It didn't release me. And so Jason got up on top of the trail up above my head and started throwing boulders at the lion's back. And on like the 4th one that he threw, it finally released me. And Matthias and Jason got me back up to the trail. I was blind in a sense, and I needed help. I needed help desperately. All I wanted to do was get out of there and get to safety. But if you know anything about mountain lions, once they identify their prey, that's all they want.
Shannon's ordeal isn't over yet.
It had attacked me, and that's what it was going to kill. It came back, and it wanted me. I remember just becoming so angry. This is really happening to me. I've been attacked by a mountain lion, and I needed to get out of there. Because if anyone knows anything about mountain lions, it's like once they identify their prey, that's all they want.
Come on!
Shannon and her friends think they have escaped, but mountain lions are determined predators.
It again came back, lunged, and locked on my leg and took out the portion of my muscle. It finally released me, and when it did that, it just kind of fell down the mountain a little bit. And they were able to get me up to the trail, and I walked a mile out of there, fully conscious.
Keep your head up. It's all right. It's all right.
I just remember getting to the parking lot where our truck was and immediately went into shock. They flew me to UCLA Medical Center, where I arrived at like 11:30 at night. One of the lion's fangs went through my right eye and tore my retina. The other lion's fang went into my left tear duct and tore out my left tear duct. The rest of the teeth took the whole right side of my face. Some of the teeth tore off my lip, but it was still there hanging, and tore off my nose as well. But my plastic surgeon told me that at the time of surgery, he actually took out one of the lion's fangs in my, like right here, pulled it out. It was still in there embedded. Yeah. I am lucky that typically mountain lions go for the throat. But I was looking down, trying to find those darn sunglasses, and I think that helped me, because When it lunged and it pounced and it came at me, I was like this, and I turned, kind of protecting my neck in a sense, and it got my right side of my face.
The physical damage is extensive, and the emotional trauma overwhelming.
I'll admit it, I put a lot into the way I looked. I'm a 27-year-old young girl. Always been very into my looks, and always in the gym, into fitness. And when you wake up, and almost instantly, in a blink of an eye, and this is all taken from you, it was very difficult. It was very hard to swallow. I came home from the hospital, actually. My brother, he went around to all the mirrors in my parents' house and covered them all. And he did that because he was protecting me, in a sense. He did that because he wanted to protect his sister. And he knew how bad my injuries were. And he didn't want me to see it then. He didn't want me to face it then. And I remember just bawling and crying, and I was like, my face is completely mauled. I'm never gonna look the same. This is awful. And my doctor looked at me and he said, there's not one thing that I'm not gonna be able to fix on your face.
How many surgeries, if you don't mind me asking?
Total of 10, pretty much every 6 months, I would have one. It's always will be a part of me. I feel like it's still written all over my face. And I get spooked even to this day. But I don't blame the animal at all. I mean, you subject yourself. If you're, hiking or up in the wilderness where there's wild animals.
Yeah, you can't play.